The library was never truly silent. The steady hum of the air conditioner, the gentle shuffle of pages, the occasional cough from the history section, these sounds lingered like background music. Still, for Elena, it was the quietest place in her world. She came every Thursday at 6 p.m. sharp, carrying a worn notebook and a determination to study without distraction. She always chose the same spot, the far corner near the tall window where the evening sun spilled gold across the wooden desk. It was there one evening that she noticed him. He sat directly across the aisle, dark hair falling slightly into his eyes. A row of sharpened pencils aligned perfectly beside his thick literature textbook. He wasn't just reading. He was immersed, as if the words had pulled him into another dimension. Elena tried not to stare, but her gaze betrayed her. He turned a page. She pretended to underline something. He scribbled a note. She tapped her pen. Their rhythms synced without intention, like a duet neither had rehearsed. Weeks passed. Their silent encounters became routine. No words were exchanged, but small gestures carried weight. Once, when Elena dropped her pen, he bent quickly, picked it up and slid it back to her with the faintest smile. Another time, he shifted his chair just slightly, making space for her when the library grew crowded. She began to look forward to Thursdays, not for her studies, but for the quiet company of the stranger. One rainy evening, the library lights flickered. A storm had swept into town and thunder rumbled faintly beyond the glass. Elena was scribbling furiously, her exam only days away when her pen ran dry. She froze, frustrated. A soft tap came from her left. She looked up. The boy was holding out one of his perfectly sharpened pencils. She hesitated, then accepted. Their fingers brushed for half a second. The smallest contact, yet her heart stumbled in her chest. She mouthed, "Thank you." He only nodded, eyes returning to his book, though his lips curved in the faintest smile. And the storm worsened. Half an hour later, the library's power went out. A collective sigh rose from the students inside, and for the first time the silence was broken. Candles were brought out by the librarian, but the corners of the room grew dim. Elena's corner was nearly swallowed by shadow, until she noticed a glow. The boy had pulled a small pocket flashlight from his bag. Without a word, he placed it on the desk so that it illuminated both of their notebooks, two islands of paper glowing in a sea of darkness. It was the first time she allowed herself to study beside him, not across from him. Their elbows nearly touched, their pencils scratching in tandem. The storm raged outside, but inside the silence felt warm, and when the power returned, she almost wished it hadn't. The spell broke and the ordinary world returned. They gathered their things in silence, yet she felt something had shifted. As she stood to leave, he tore a small page from his notebook and slid it across the table. Her heart raced. She opened it. Inside, in neat handwriting, were 4 words. "Same time next week?" She looked up. He was already watching her, the faintest hope in his eyes. Elena smiled for the first time that night, soft, certain, and brighter than the storm outside. She nodded. Wait, and so it began. Not with grand speeches or declarations, not with bold gestures or noisy confessions, but with silence, shared pencils, and a single beam of light in the library's darkest corner. For sometimes love doesn't need words, it only needs presence.